Alright. Hey guys, Robin.
Hi, Jack. And
Alright, it's obviously a rough day for me. I've come with my armband on today. That was a rough one. I got excited, it was a double episode, and I left very, very sad and shattered.
It's a day of mourning for you.
It's a day of mourning for me, yeah, and I'm struggling, and I'm still... It's a pointless day of mourning to me. It was a pointless move in my eyes, but we'll
that's
discuss.
the end result, but we'll get there.
It's the end result, and it is what it is. At least
I'm sure there's a lot of fans out there who feel exactly the
yeah,
same way.
I know. Yeah, exactly. So Aussie, I love you. Just you got to be smarter, mate. You got to.
Look, the merge was interesting this time.
With the two, you had to do the sacrifice.
I think there's quite a lot that goes on there, and it's a new feature, and Zeke summed it up as like, Brad is playing a new brand of Brad by falling on the sword and
he is though.
But he is,
and we've been saying that this whole time. He's not the original Culpepper that he was, but he's learnt a lot. He's listened to what Monica must have done, and he's changed his game. He's really soft. He is playing a very good game, and he is, in my eyes, one of the biggest threats out in the island.
I'd also like to say that, look, the two people who sacrificed themselves, they didn't get to partake in the feast, picked up some brownie points.
Yeah.
It's not going to mean a lot, though. I mean, it's not going to be something that will save you from a vote.
No, I don't think I don't think it saves you from a vote. I
do think there's an advantage here that a lot of people don't realise, and that is, in feast, it's a lot of chaos. There's a lot of, obviously food going around. There's people chatting to people, blah, blah, blah.
There's people pretending to be drunk.
We'll get to that, because I want a professional opinion.
Okay.
But what people don't realise is there is actually an advantage there. And Brad utilised it very quickly and very well.
Mm-hmm. Depending on how much you've got left in the tank, Brad must have enough, and he does feel very relatively safe. Whereas you look at Aussie was like, I can't do it.
Yeah, I know, right?
So, and Ty being Ty's Zen Buddhist monk. He can give all his food to the chickens and not eat anything. He'll be fine.
Brad did a very smart thing by sticking his hand up first, and that is this: he sticks his hand up and goes, "Yeah, I'll do it." So his tribe has gone, "Yes, let's have the feast." Which puts the other members of the other tribe instantly in a worse position, because if none of them agree, then his tribe thinks less of them.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
He's kept that line drawn.
Yeah, he got in there first, and the other one's all now. Well, someone has to do it.
Someone has to do it, because otherwise we're the villains.
He looks amazing, and we look
right.
Horrendous.
So he's drawn a line instantly between his group and them. Right? So he's ensuring, in one sense...
Which has been... The whole double episode was about that line being drawn.
Exactly. So Brad's done a very smart thing here. Zeke characterised it as Brad falling on the sword to try and get some bounty points, which I don't think Brad thought of, but Brad's thinking a little deeper than that. Yeah. When he did it, he drew that line in the sand and said, "Well, are you guys going to cross it?
Yeah, you're going to come match me.
You got
to come up here. You got to play at my level." Yeah, he totally threw it out there.
And that's why I think it was such a good move on Brad's part. It's a really thinking move. Brad got the spend, and it didn't matter who it was. One time
with Ty, and he already started solidifying, but they've been apart for a little while. He brings it back, and Ty's back in his back pocket.
Exactly. Brad gets that time with one person from that tribe.
Oh yeah.
Right. He can assess whether they're friendly, whether they're a villain, what use they are to him. Because he's got all that time with one person. It doesn't matter who it is.
And every time you see them having the feast, and in the background, in the shots, you can see
Brad and Ty
just chatting, like
right.
Look over what's going on. Yeah, we're missing food, but what they're building.
Brad is surprisingly probably the most evolved player I've seen
from his original.
What I mean is, Brad's listened to Monica when she's come back.
Yeah, totally.
Brad has looked at his own performance in his original season.
Yeah, he's done it.
And Brad has learnt.
Yes.
Like a lot of these people haven't.
Mm-hmm.
Like Aussie has never learnt the social.
Why is the t-shirt inside out?
Is it? Oh, shit. Now I'm going to look like an idiot. I'm the one sitting here telling people how unintelligent some of these players are, and I've got my shirt inside out.
That's amazing. I'm like, is that? Oh, he's wearing his shirt inside out. All right, that's a thing.
Now I don't want to change it just to spite you. So,
Oh, okay, okay, sure.
No, that's just All right,
I can put mine inside out if you want me to.
No. I'd like to point out this stage, Debbie. Debbie has just come back from exile, where she has feasted.
Yeah.
Debbie, if she was a smart player, would have sat there and gone, hang on, I've just feasted. I don't need this feast, right? I can stick my hand up here.
And win some points.
And get an advantage. Did she?
No.
Nope. Not even close. After the feast, Debbie actually did a good thing, and it was quite...
She sat back and shut up.
No, she actually went up to Brad. She said, look, I want to apologise for the way I behaved before I went to exile. And even though it may not have been genuine after the one-on-one camera, you don't, it came across as genuine.
Yeah. And that was better acting than a drunkenness.
Yeah, and it was exactly what...
Apart from the kiss. Then you're pushing a bit too far.
That's too far.
You've said sorry, you've given the hug. You don't need to kiss him every 30 seconds. You're done.
Cochran has told her some stuff. She actually acted on it there with Brad. She was like, look, I'm sorry for the way I behaved. We can put it past us and we can move on. And Brad is like, yeah, that's great. He was happy to hear that.
Yeah, totally. Because he was like, I never did anything to begin with. Like, exactly. I've been on your side.
They started to do the Haley Michaela thing, right?
Yeah, this whole concept of drawing the line in the sand, and this is something Zeke carried over from his last season, and now watching this season, it's something that's, I think, his fatal flaw. Obviously, this episode. Yeah. Amassing the numbers. You know what? You could have gone, let's play this game, but get rid of Culpepper, get rid of Suri.
Right? Why Zeke and why Haley and Michaela?
Why? They're numbers. They're both numbers. They're both a team because they're both lowest on the list. Right. They're both bottom of the pecking order, and we're playing this game. And Haley's like, you can use me. Like, you can... I've been saying this for so long. If you wanted me, you can use me. And no one does. It's about, I want to get numbers. It's like, and like they did say, it was like crime boss gangs just trying to build their numbers and go after each other. It was like, get the head of the...
Exactly.
Take him out. Right? And that's going to... Like, if you took out their leader... They're going to scatter.
Somebody could have gone to Haley and Michaela, and there are 2 votes straight away, right?
Oh, exactly. It's like, look,
straight away.
Let's flip this game on our head.
They want to get you out. Let's flip it.
So easy. It's so easy. Yeah, you're still in the bottom of that one, but at least you got. You're dismantling someone who is in control, not keeping these people in control. And we saw with Zeke in the next half, thinking he had his army.
That's right.
Trying to flip it and stay in control. And it just backfired completely on him. Like, he's going to struggle now to get back from that moment. Potentially.
But anyway, you got Michaela and Haley sitting there. There's 2 easy guys there. Like, Andrew, anybody, Sierra, could have walked up to them and gone, I want to actually make a change to the game. Oh. And I'm offering you guys the chance to be part of what's going to happen. What would they have done?
Jumped on board
because nobody was talking to them.
Suri was doing the opposite. It's like, we just got to stick to this plan to make people... No. Grab them both, and now you've got a bigger army. Like, right. I'm not really sure the logic of how this double episode panned out to me. It didn't...
To me, there's a problem. And it's people's perceptions of what they're trying to... How they're playing doesn't add up to the way they're talking about it.
No, just right? It's so strange.
It's just so strange.
And I thought Haley and Michaela. In what season are you ever just like, let's pick them off? Like, we saw that in the Australian season. It was the silliest thing to do. Yeah. You don't need to use those people. They're leverage. You can get a 2-for-1 here. So easy. You can get a 2-for-1.
Haley actually had a good idea. When she said she was going to light a fire under Michaela, right?
Yeah.
Haley actually could have saved herself if she actually had have got Michaela to go off.
And she was just...
She was that far from doing it. If she had to put a bit more pressure on Michaela... If Michaela had detonated, right?
And
Haley would have saved herself at council.
She was bottling. Michaela's holding it because Suri told her, hold back, girl. But, you know, if you can just you poke the bear enough, it's going to bite. She will bite. She's not ready to be, she's still learning.
And Hayley just backed off too much. Like, she should have actually hammered Michaela and said, Sierra's saying your name, Brad's saying your name. Yeah. It doesn't matter if it's a lie.
Yeah.
Because Michaela, each time you say somebody's saying your name, you know that fire's getting stoked.
All you needed to do is somehow, like, put the Sierra and Brad combo in there and just kind of make sure whatever Sari was telling her, you keep voting Zeke, keep voting with the plan because I'm trying to save your ass. If you can just keep fueling that where she can't stick to the plan, you've got someone who's unstable and then you've got room to move.
If Michaela hadn't detonated, it would have been a very simple vote at Tribal.
And this is why Hayley especially is a valuable asset because quite clearly she's not good enough to win the game.
No,
she's not good enough to win the game because she couldn't even get herself out. And she hasn't. She has not been able to get herself out of this. She's been on the bottom for weeks.
Every tribe she's been in.
Yeah, and she has not been able to make any sort of moves to get out of that. So she is a valuable asset to you because she has nowhere else to go. And she can't win the game.
Michaela's got no capacity to win the game. But Sari now has Michaela. Like, Michaela is in her pocket.
Oh, of course. And she's like, I'm learning so much. Of course, Sari's got her.
But Sari's got, and this is what Michaela doesn't realise, right? Her game is over now.
Yeah.
She's hooked herself up. So she's bound to Sari so much now. She's got no capacity for making individual moves now.
No, and if she does...
It's painfully obvious that she shouldn't have been in this season.
No.
She's not like Caleb.
Shouldn't have been.
She just simply shouldn't have been.
They're just out of their depth. I don't know why Zeke's like, hang on a second. Let's get rid of the power.
Okay, if we can't get rid of Sierra and Brad, right?
But why can't they?
But even if you said that, even if you thought that for whatever reason, take out a supporter. Look at Sarah, right? I mean, she's one of those players who's just thinking about who to vote for all the time and why.
And where she sits.
And where she sits. And you could go to her and go, well, let's get rid of Sierra. And if she thinks it's a good idea, she's going to go. She's going to vote with you.
Do it, yeah.
Right? There's plenty of players like Ty.
There are so many now. I don't know. Like it baffles me. So that these whole conversations that they're having about getting the numbers on our side doesn't actually help because we've seen everyone's playing such an individual game. Like Sarah... Whatever benefits her the most.
Exactly.
It's like just a big pendulum. It's not voting blocks.
No, it's not.
It's not like we've seen prior. It's just this. You have the numbers now, but tomorrow you don't have the numbers because people just go, yeah, you know what, I'm going to go here now.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm going to go over here. Yeah. It's like, you know, when you see when you ever see the people run on the one side of the boat starts to tip, and everyone goes to the other side, and that's what that's what I'm getting. Just running back and forth. There's no stability. There's no real logic behind anything other than I need the numbers, or in the case of the second part, Zeke going, I'm out of control. I need to be in control. No, you don't. You're still in a decent position, and allow yourself to let someone else think they're in control because he says it at Tribal Council. He says it there. He's like blah blah, blah, and he says how smart he actually thinks at this level. Yet when push came to shove, he's just like, I'm not in control anymore. I need to make sure I'm in control.
Get Tribal. Hayley and Michaela, interestingly enough, it's Tribal, both sum it up exactly the same way, right? Why are you guys voting us out when we're not a threat to anyone?
At all. Yeah, they're not a threat.
And nobody in the voting blocks, or whatever you want to call them, or mini alliances, whatever they are, had any comeback. They were just like, because we are.
They'll just jump ship at any chance they get for a better offer.
Absolutely.
Give them the better offer there and get rid of the people who have put you at the bottom.
Zeke had an opportunity there, right at the end, to save both of them and get somebody else out.
Yeah. Get someone who's actually a threat to his game.
In the next episode going, oh, I'm not in control. He would be sitting there going, I'm in control.
Yeah, he would have gotten rid of someone. He didn't have to get rid of Sari or anything like that.
Exactly.
But he could have got rid of someone who was more of a threat. It just frustrates me that is how that tribal happened. And then, which led to the next tribal, which has now got a black armband on my bloody arm. Like the Hayley and Michaela.
The Hayley and Michaela one, because it seems like meat was an easy vote. I think it was almost like, we don't really want to think about this. We really don't want to make any statements. We just want to all get along under the radar, so we'll take an easy vote this time.
Like, you know what? You can only last so long with so many people thinking they're at the head of the table.
Absolutely. Look, you've got Andrea, and this comes out very much in the next episode. You've got Andrea who thinks she's running the game. You've got Sierra who thinks she's running the game. You've got Brad who thinks she's running the game. You've got Siri who thinks she's running the game. You've got
Debbie
Zeke
thinks she's running the game.
And then you've got Debbie,
and
right?
Zeke thinks they're running the game.
Right. And this is all not very
it's
true.
It's not beneficial for anyone.
Haley was a complete loss of opportunity. Like, it always amazes me the amount of people who are at the top who think well about the game, like Zeke, right? And yet they can't see an opportunity with somebody like Haley.
Like, I don't know why you would ever let that go. You have that opportunity to not just increase yourself by 1, increase yourself by 2, give them a lifeline, and really get rid of someone who is threatening your game. Because, as we've said a few episodes back, the first episode, everyone in this season is basically a threat.
Brad's playing. He's playing really well. He's keeping under the radar.
He's playing like a Boston Rob.
Right, isn't he? Right? He is just in that middle band.
He's in control, but other people think they're in control and right? He's listening to them. Yet Brad has it sorted. He's not pissing everyone up. He's doing a Boston Rob. He's playing very, very well.
He's managed to stay in that middle band, but run the game. It's amazing to watch.
That's where you want to sit. You want to sit there. You don't want to be running the show, which is you need to calm down. You want to think. You want people to think they're running the show.
Absolutely.
Yeah, at the same time, you have all the
power. All right.
So if Debbie does want to come in and go, we need to blindside Aussie tonight. Yeah, sure. It's still benefiting me. It's still taking out someone who's not in my actual core alliance. But it makes Debbie think she's important.
And that's exactly what that vote was.
Yeah.
That vote wasn't about getting Aussie out. That vote was about making Debbie think
she's important.
She's important to Brad and Sierra.
Because Aussie is no threat. Yeah. In my eyes, Aussie is no threat. He hasn't won individual immunity. When it came down to the showdown of Mowgli and Zen Buddhist, Zen Buddhist trumps him at his own game. Aussie's never lost that immunity challenge. He's always won that one. And you knew he was desperate when he was like, if you don't go, no one's getting any fish. That's a desperate play. And that becomes, again, Aussie's biggest flaw.
Unfortunately, it goes back to Aussie. I forget which episode it was, but remember I said, Aussie still thinks that there's something to be...
Yeah,
you can't sit there and say, oh, but I'm valuable to the tribe, so you should keep me. It's not enough.
You've played 5 seasons now, Aussie. You got to know that, early on, that's important. That's important early on.
6 days.
They're going to wear thin. Look, it's so good. So good that you're bringing in stingrays and fish and all this kind of stuff. But that is not that's all his game revolved around.
Exactly.
And he always kept saying that. And finally, at the end, it's like, if you don't let me win immunity, there's no fish for you. Well, I'll chance it. He wins immunity, and Aussie goes home.
And nobody actually sat there and went, oh my God, no fish. They just went, okay.
And Aussie keeps thinking that I'm providing. They don't care.
Yeah.
It's a bonus. It is a bonus, but they'll run hungry because it's either give me a stingray, give me $1 million.
Exactly.
Yeah, they're loving it.
Right.
You do build bonds by providing. You do, but at the same time, we're now at individual immunity. At the moment, every reward challenge, half of us are going to be getting a reward.
Yeah.
We can live off rewards.
That's
can live
right.
off.
Exactly.
Yes, it's great to have consistent fish. It is so good. I'll give it a shot if Aussie's not there. I'm sure I might catch 1 or 2. I won't bring in half the ocean, but it's not. It's just this fatal flaw that he just thinks that's going to get him across the line. Yeah. No, it's not going to do you any good to just sit back and go, it's okay. They like me. Yeah, they like you. But they don't like you enough to give you $1 million over themselves. And
the other disappointing player for me is Aubrey. I think Aubrey had the capacity to create her own faction in the first season.
Yeah.
And now she's just a floater.
What's the thing, Master?
Aubrey has basically succumbed to becoming a follower.
Yeah.
Aubrey has now given up any sense of being a leader of a faction.
But that's the thing though. You don't need to lead.
No, but what I mean, you see, even like Brad, right?
Oh, but Brad's leading.
Yes, but what I mean is he's leading without looking like he's leading. Like he's playing that really good game.
That's
perfect game.
Yeah, that'll get you winning.
And that's what I mean. Like Aubrey doesn't have to be the leader, but she should have her faction.
She should have a bit of power, but she, that could come, and I don't think we haven't seen that yet. But I don't think it's not possible for her to just kind of come in and.
Oh look, Aubrey, I have enough.
Because like it is, we are swinging. Yeah. We're swinging from here to here.
I have faith in Aubrey because I've seen her in her previous season, so I do have faith that she has the capacity to bounce back.
Yeah.
I was just a bit disappointed to see her call Suri her aunt. I was like, hang on, that's an emotional attachment.
Yeah, no, I just think that was like, what's going on here? And she said like the godfather, but she's like, oh, she's not really a godfather, like my godmother. She's more of my aunt.
Yeah,
but I just think I just think that was her way of kind of explaining what the hell is happening at this tribal, and that's what it was. It was east side versus your west side coming together. This weird clash. It's like just this weird gangland warfare. That
I know.
That is just like, I'm stuck in the middle.
Look, I keep being impressed at this stage by Andrea.
Yeah,
Andrea is looking very good as a competitor. She's thinking right. She sums up Debbie very well at the beginning of this episode.
Yeah.
Right. She says she's a wild. This is how she sums up Debbie: a wild card who acts without thinking. Zeke sums up Siri and Andrea. Right. Like at this stage, Sierra's name's being thrown out. Right.
Yeah.
And Zeke. This is when he gets into the hammock with Andrea, right? Yeah. And his voiceover is, there are much bigger threats out, and this is why Brad is playing such a good game. There are much bigger much bigger threats out there than Sierra and Brad, like Andrea and Siri. So he's got he understands that Siri and Andrea are big threats, which is great because other people haven't picked up on that yet, right? But he discounts Sierra and Brad at the same breath, and I'm like, no, Zeke.
But he only discounts that because he's lost his power.
Yeah.
And that was his fatal flaw, I think. Yeah. It's like, you shouldn't, what are you doing? It's okay. Have your agenda, but sometimes sit back and let someone else take the reins while you're still in control. Yeah. And that was his problem, and that's how he... that's how he battled in his last season, going head to head with his army, amassing troops. I got to get Dave out. I got to get Dave out. Can't get him yet. We'll get this one. Can't get him, and he fell short.
Yeah.
This time round, it's okay as long as you're in the power 3. It's like all right. Suri and Andrea Suri and who was it?
Yeah, Suri and Andrea. That's who he thinks are the bigger threats.
And that's right. And making these calls, you're part of that, mate. Just calm down.
But he makes a good call because he is watching the way they're thinking. And he understands their thinking very well, right? Yeah. But the problem is, he has no in with Sierra and Brad, right?
No.
So all he's seeing is from the outside, Sierra and Brad, and he doesn't realise that they're actually quite good at what they're doing.
Yeah, and he tried, and he went to Sierra, and Sierra just went, well, I don't believe
Well, actually, that was brilliant. Now, Sierra played that really well. And this is what I see very little of. Somebody will come to somebody and go, oh, your name's being thrown out. And without even thinking about they believe them.
Yeah.
Whoever they are, right?
Like, sweet, we're getting rid of them.
Yeah. But Sierra sat there and did exactly the right thing, Hang on, you're really tight with Andrea. Why are you doing this?
And what she's done is cause distrust in an alliance against her alliance.
Yeah.
She stuck to her plan.
Exactly, right?
Now probably had the numbers, but now there's division and they're trying to get each other out.
Right.
It was an easy one. But
Sierra played it well.
Yeah, so well.
So well, right? And this is what I mean. Zeke doesn't realise. In him, when he says, I don't think Sierra and Brad are a very big threat, right?
They're the biggest threats.
It is a big miss on Zeke's part.
Yeah, they're the biggest threats.
They are big threats, right? And for him to discount them, considering their voting block, is insane.
No, it just makes no sense to me. Like, that's why I think that Zeke I think it was a big mistake on Zeke's behalf to kind of just be like, I need to be in control because I need to.
And then go to Sierra.
Right. And then you really, you had your work and your chess game out and you screwed it.
Debbie comes along with like, I want Aussie. So Brad and Sierra knows Sierra's name's been out there, right? So she doesn't want any, she's happy with any other name,
whatever.
Right?
It's not on our side.
It's not on our side, right?
Happy.
We're happy, right? So to bring Debbie into the fold, they go, okay, Aussie. Right? Yeah. It's a great play. Yeah. From their point of view, they're bringing Debbie in, right?
Yeah.
But this is where it all falls apart for Debbie. She picks Aussie. I'm like, what a nowhere vote.
Yeah, that's the thing.
A nowhere vote.
I'm like, I was just like, don't be wrong. I was always shattered to see Aussie
go. No. Yeah, of course. But
it wasn't...
Strategically,
you wasted your second vote.
Well, let's get to that. But what I mean is just as a choice, right?
Yeah.
It's a nowhere vote.
you could have actually blindsided someone with real influence in the game.
Exactly, and she picks Aussie. I'm like, this is... And then you've hit the capstone already, right? She spends her extra vote
I don't want to do it this early.
vote.
Don't want to do it this early. Well, don't do it. Go for Sari. Go for someone who is legitimately... Go for Zeke.
Right.
Go for someone who strategically plays the game.
Andrea.
Because that's where this flip comes in. Go for the people who are strategically thinking about getting themselves to the end.
Yes.
Aussie isn't.
No.
Aussie can't. He's talking about giving you guys food. He's not thinking about the end game. He thinks he is, but it's wrong.
If Aussie's biggest play is, I get you guys food...
He's not a threat. He's not a threat whatsoever.
This is why I think Brad and Sarah are playing such a good game, because they've now brought Debbie in. It's a nowhere vote that didn't harm them at all. The only people it's possibly harmed is Zeke.
Yeah.
Right? And they've kept their
voters strong.
They've kept their alliance strong, and they've got Debbie in it now.
Yeah, and they also think Debbie thinks she has power.
And this is the other bad...
Debbie did a game-changing move, and it's because of me. She says it herself.
Yeah.
It's mostly because of me. I did this.
But it's not a game changer. It's not a game changer.
No, it's a waste.
It's a playing into their hands.
It's not game-changing at all. Right. If you game-changed, you would have got rid of a strategic player who's actually thinking meticulously.
If she had nailed Zeke, if she had nailed Sarah, if she had nailed Andrea, if she had taken out Sierra or Brad, right? I'd be sitting there and going, wow, big move.
Yes.
Right?
Then you give her some street cred.
This is the thing about the extra vote as far as I'm concerned, right? At 13, it doesn't mean a lot.
No.
If you can carry that extra vote to
6,
7 or below,
to when you need
it really ramps up in power.
You've just thrown it away at 12.
13, at 12, right? You're just like, wee!
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Exactly. Wee! I got an extra vote. Woo!
Right?
Mum gave me a chopper chop. You know, can I have it now? No, after dinner. I'm going to have it now.
Right?
You know, just hold on. Hold your horses. Right. You've got a big advantage of this game and you're wasting it. You're just throwing it away.
Yeah.
Throwing it away on one. I would pay, I'd say, you used it to your advantage if you did get out one of the big strategic people.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, I'd be like, that's okay. I would have liked to held on to it a little bit longer. But you did make a move. You cut the snake's head off.
Look, I would be like this. I would be like, look, it would have been better to hold on to it, but you did get rid of Brad. Kudos.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Get rid of
that
Zeke.
was great.
You did get rid of one of these people who are playing for the
because
win.
at least you've used the vote thinking the right way about the game. Compare this to Sierra, whose immunity was active at this tribal, right?
She held on.
She could have actually used it, and she even knew her name was being thrown around.
Yeah.
Did she pull it out?
No.
Because she understands that at 6, that's going to be worth a hell of a lot more at 6 than at 13. You've got all these people strutting their stuff in front of Debbie, right?
Yeah.
And Debbie's oblivious to it
all.
Completely misses it all and goes, Aussie!
Everyone's playing chess.
Yes.
She's playing checkers. Thrown it away on someone who...
Aussie.
The criminal
mastermind, Aussie, you know?
In this season, couldn't even win the only challenge that is basically the Aussie totem pole. He couldn't win his own challenge.
He couldn't win it against Ty, right? And yet
Ty hasn't eaten.
Yes, right.
Ty's given up feasts.
Look who's won the first 2 individual immunities. Andrea and Ty.
Yeah, he was around here.
And you love bells starting to ring there, Debbie. That's what I mean. The Debbie vote at the end just becomes, the more I think about it, becomes more laughable.
It's so upsetting for me. There's too many people vying for power.
Yeah.
There is a lot of smart people in there, and all those smart people want to be in control because they know once they're in the control, in the captain's seat, they can do what they want. But when they can't be in control, it's causing this weird...
Yeah.
It kills this weird energy that's kind of changing out. You're just ruining your own game because you can't relinquish control.
Yeah. It's almost like you saying, actually about Zeke, there are times in a game when you just need to take a step back.
Yeah, and that was like Culpepper. Yeah, sweet. You want to get rid of Aussie. Done.
I'll take a step back now.
Because you look like it's your show.
Yeah.
So today is the Debbie hour.
This is the Debbie's in the sunshine.
Debbie Day.
Yeah, Debbie Day. Let's go with Debbie Day.
And that's fine. Whereas Zeke has a bit of... trouble being able to let that happen. It seems. What are we thinking? Who's next? Who do we think's next to go?
Well, do you want to take a punt at who's going to win immunity?
Who's going to win immunity? Andrea.
Andrew, you reckon? Andrew's a very strong contender.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Andrew too.
Yeah.
I think.
I still feel it might be another endurance one.
If it's an endurance one, probably tie. But
depends on the endurance.
Yeah, but it
but
does.
I think
but
he's also gone the long. He's gone pretty much to the end in both of them.
Yes, but Andrew won one, Ty's won the other. So I think Andrew's very strong like that. Okay, who's going to be the next fight? I think the Brad Sierra alliance will not fold.
Okay.
So I think it's going to be some sort of battle where between Zeke and Andrea, and I think Zeke's going home.
Okay, I think Sierra's going to go home.
You think Sierra's going to go?
Sierra's going to go home.
Okay, that would be a blow to the Brad alliance.
Yeah. I just can't think it that's the only way to change the game up to me.
Right.
To break those two up.
Okay, I'm going to say Zeke because I think he's put himself in the gun with Andrew and that lot.
Yeah.
And I think again it would be an easy vote for Culpepper.
Oh yeah, totally easy vote to keep them weakening them.
Yeah.
But for them, they got to put water under the bridge.
Yeah.
And band together.
Exactly. Or else Culpepper's group is just
away.
going to pick them off.
Yeah, and they need to just be like, look, me and Zeke had an issue.
Yep.
Zeke, I don't trust him anymore, but I need him now.
Exactly.
I need him.
And Zeke needs to do the same thing with them.
Yeah, Zeke needs to be like, I made a mistake.
Yep.
But I don't think he's gone just yet. I think he's been given a lifeline.
I think the reason that won't happen is for the reason that you've been picking up on. It's a very individual game at the moment.
Yeah, but I think Sarah coming to him, Sarah's the one playing the individual one most. In the smartest way.
Yeah. Oh,
like
for
you know, because she's not in a position of power.
No.
But she's like, well, they want to get rid of Aussie. What's better for me? And she has that. Her power is she has that option.
She does.
Where she could be like, hey, we need to break them up.
Exactly.
And then Zeke has an in.
Oh.
Zeke's got a lot. I don't think Zeke will go. I think he's got a lot of groundwork from his big. I think that was a big blunder on his behalf this episode. Just not being able to let go of being in control.
Well, it depends. That's what I mean. I think if Zeke can let go, he may save himself. If he can't, he's dead. I think.
Yeah, he did start to make that coffin, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. That's it. It's all on him.
Yeah.
Okay, so that would be a wrap.
That'll be it. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank you.
We'll see you for the next episode.
Which hopefully will give us some clarity.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah. Okay, take care.
See you guys.